Hey everyone, and welcome back to Ideanthro Movement, and welcome to the last episode of our very first week of programming here at Ideanthro Movement. On today's episode, we are still exploring why variety is really important in our approach to movement, and we're going to do this a little bit tongue-in-cheek with the following question. Should my 1-year-old be deadlifting? Now, lest anyone turns off here, I'm just going to get this out there. No, my 1-year-old shouldn't be deadlifting. But this episode is about pointing out why, and pointing out why that supports our approach of wide variety in movement. So, there is this thought that you'll hear pop up all the time in the traditional strength and conditioning world, in the fitness industry, in the gym industry. As people come in, they want someone to train them. They want to get fit and healthy. And the trainer's like, okay, the way we're going to do that is we're going to build a good strength base in the few basic 3 or 5 basic movements. Squat, lunge, deadlift, bench press, overhead press, pull up, let's say. We're going to get people really strong, a solid foundation in those, and then we can think about doing some other funny stuff outside of that. If that was the case, then shouldn't the way that my daughter, my 1-year-old daughter, develops be that she should be training to do lots of squats, do some deadlifts, picking stuff up off the ground, do some push-ups on the ground, and nothing else, right? They should be building, the first thing my daughter should be doing is building a solid foundation in those particular movements, and then we can get on to this business of actually moving in the real world. Have you ever watched a kid move? It's not what they do. They move in a huge variety of complex and interesting ways. And yes, they can pick stuff up off the floor. And yes, my daughter is exceptionally good at doing squats, and she's 1. And yes, my daughter can roll herself over. And yes, she is strong enough to hang off my fingers. But she didn't get this way by doing just programmatic squats and programmatic deadlifts and programmatic push-ups, right? And neither should you as an adult. It's not how we develop naturally, right? If it was the case, then the question should be, how did our ancestors develop any sort of movement capacity before we could make barbells and pull-up racks, right? Do you think they were going out and bench pressing rocks? No. They were moving in the real world. It's actually the same way any other creature gets strong, right? Do you see gibbons doing pull-ups repetitively in order to get good at climbing and swinging through the trees? No. They just climb and swing through the trees and therefore get good at climbing and swinging through the trees. And so this is the point that we're making here about variety. The concept of the traditional fitness industry, that you've got to build some sort of solid base before you then move on to whatever movements you want to do out in the real world, is completely wrong. Now, of course, we don't want to push people into stuff that's unsafe for them, right? So if you remember back a couple of episodes, we talked about this spectrum of bad movement at one end, acceptable movement, and optimal movement. Of course, we don't want to force people into the bad movement spectrum. We don't want to do that at any point. But the fact that we don't want to force people into the bad movement spectrum doesn't mean that the right way to develop them is by picking only 5 or 7 movements and operating only in the optimal spectrum either, right? The way we naturally and safely develop as humans is to do a wide variety of movement, build a wide base of movement, build the ability to be safe and stable outside of optimal range, and then we have a safe base from which to progress from. So no, my 1-year-old daughter shouldn't be deadlifting. She is capable of picking up stuff from the ground in what resembles a deadlift, but that's not how she develops, and it's not how you develop either. Okay, thanks for tuning in. That is it for this episode of Ideanthro. If you would like to know more, if you'd like to ask a question, reach out to us, anything along those lines, you can find us at ideanthro.com/movement. You can also actually get in touch at ideanthro.com/connect. If you would like to get involved with us, maybe come down to our facility, you can come down for a free trial. If you go to ideanthro.com/free-trial, you can get in touch that way, and we will have you down. You can try out our movement program, see if you like it. I sincerely hope you will, and join in our little crew. Okay, thanks for tuning in. Give us a like or subscribe if you enjoyed this. If you didn't, that's fine, no dramas. But if you did, give us a like or subscribe, and we'll see you next time.